Good morning, advancers, and welcome to Advanced Kingdom TV. Yes. And I'm excited to be on this morning. Glad to see everyone in the chat and excited about what God has in store for us today. He woke us up this morning, and that's something to be excited about this morning. There is an anticipation that's happening in this season, this new season that we're in, that we have come into. We entered into the month of May with such a joy and such an excitement, knowing that God is changing tables around for many of you that's in the chat. Every morning we're plowing new territory. And this is another morning where we get to advance, where we get to plow, where we're excited about where God is taking us. God is leading us this morning. So it's something to be excited about. There's something that's happening. We're excited to hear the testimonies that is going to come through this community, what God was able to do for you in a short period of time. So that is something to be excited about. The Lord, He is good. He is good this morning. And this morning, He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. That's our God. Want to say good morning to everyone. I see you in the chat. Good morning, Corey. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Mia. Good morning, Paula and Dr. Ann and Judy. Michael, good morning. It's good to see everyone faithfully coming every morning. We're stronger together. I hope you feel that we're stronger. We're better together. It's good just to fellowship with you every morning, to call on the name of our God, to trade in the markets with you all. This is a privilege, and we're excited to do it. Yeah. We got a testimony coming. The enemy will not be able to stop this testimony that's coming through this group. Yeah, there's a great testimony coming. Yeah. Oh, well, let's get going. Let's see what the Lord, what He will say this morning. I'm going to bring up to the stage Dr. Denise. I see you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah. We'll turn the platform over to you. Oh, what was you saying?
I said all is well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, awesome. Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are really having a wonderful start to your morning. This morning, we are going to have the opportunity to talk about trusting God in the process, trusting the process. You know, there is a process to everything in life. I love to cook. And so, you know, to get to my final meal, I have to do prep along the way, or things are not going to come out exactly like I would want them to. And that is the same way with our dreams and how we view our destiny. Throughout the scriptures, we can definitely count so many people that God showed us that there was a process to their journey. There was a process to having their dreams fulfilled. There was a process to them walking out and being in the destiny that God had prepared for them. So this morning, that's what we're gonna talk about a little bit. When we look at the scriptures, we can tell that God has a plan. a path and a purpose for each one of our lives. And Joseph's character really shines forth in that. And again, so many others. But for just a second, we're just going to look at Joseph. Psalms 105:19 says, until the time came to fulfill his dreams, the Lord tested Joseph's character. Now, when we talk about our character being tested, we're not talking necessarily about fun stuff, right? But it was needful. God had given Joseph so many dreams about his destiny and what he would be and who he would be. But then God sent him through the process of being shaped, molded, and refined, his character being built so that he had the capacity to be able to carry the big dreams and the destiny that God had planned for him. And it's the same for us. And in that, when we look at the power of yet, Philippians 3:12 says, not that I have already obtained all of this, or that I have already arrived at my goal, but I press on to take hold of that which Christ took hold of me. Paul realized when he was saying this, just like Joseph, that God was training him. He was in a training process and had not arrived at his ultimate destination yet. He had not arrived yet, but God was bringing him to a point where he would be able to move in all the things that God had showed him. He would come into deeper revelations of who he was in Christ Jesus. And so, again, we look at all the great men and women of the Bible who trusted the process of God, getting them ready for their destiny. Moses didn't yet have humility to be able to lead the nation of Israel. When we look at Moses in Exodus 3, he was not a humble person. You know, he took upon himself to be able to fight and try to stand up, not in God's strength, but in his own strength. Esther didn't have the courage that she needed to save her people yet, until she had submitted to the Lord, fasted and prayed, and got direction on what she was supposed to do. The disciples of Jesus didn't have faith to build God's church and to change the world yet. That faith is in the yet. And we're no different. Sometimes I can look at things that God has shown me and I can really strain at, the dreams that God has put in my heart, because I can see that my own inadequacies, my own sins and failures, they limit my perspective in being able to see that God can use me in spite of. And it's that yet that keeps me holding on. Yet my faith is that yet that keeps me in a place of knowing I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. The process is different for each and every one of us. Sometimes that process includes difficulties, disappointments, heartbreak even. Other times that process includes opportunities and successes. All of it is a part of God's process, and if we trust him, we can learn and grow. So today I'm going to share with you 4 principles that will help us trust the process that God is taking us through to reach our dreams and our destiny. Number 1 is choosing the right view of God. Choosing the right view of God. Philippians 3:10-11 says, I want to know him inside and out. This is the Voice version translation. I want to experience the power of his resurrection and join in his suffering shaped by his death, so that I will arrive safely at the resurrection from the dead. In Paul's journey towards his destiny, he was not focused on the destination, but really on knowing and understanding God better. He knew that through experiencing God's power came from knowing God inside and out. sometimes we have an obstacle before us in learning the process because we only have a a view of God in a certain area. You know, some people grow up and they see God um, as a punisher because maybe they've suffered things in their life and it's been negative, or they feel the consequences of their own sin, right? So they might look at him in that view. Some can look at him as a loving father. God cares and is training me, so I am free to make mistakes and grow. You know, I am free to make mistakes and grow. We don't want to continue to make mistakes, but we use those as learning opportunities to grow and to know God as a loving father. Um, and so, depending on what your view of God is, will also impact how you view uh, coming to have the right view of God in your life at particular junctions in your life. It can be very difficult to be able to, change those views unless you have a different experience. So, here again, choosing the right view of God is very important in being able to move forward in the destiny that God has for you and trusting Him through the process. Number two, let go of the past. Philippians 3:13 says, "Brothers and sisters, as I said, I know that I have not arrived, but there's one thing that I am doing. I'm leaving my old life behind, putting everything on the line for this mission." You know, when I look back and I graduated from high school and went to college, I moved from Ohio to Michigan. I remember thinking that this was a big opportunity to have things different, let go of insecurities and fears from my past, really redefine myself. And I was going to a new place where nobody knew me. But once I got there, I soon discovered that just the change in scenery did not change who I was internally. And I was that same person in Ohio that I was in Michigan. Philippians 3, Paul is telling us about an opportunity to have spiritually, to have leave our old life behind us. And in fact, being close to God requires that we learn how to let go of the past, because our past, it doesn't have to dictate our future. That's one thing that is so important. Our past does not dictate our future. It's an opportunity for us to learn and grow and not discard those things, but not let them impact us to where we lose sight of where we're going. Um, Philippians 8 in the New Living Translation says, Philippians 3:8 says, "Yes, everything else is worthless when compared to the infinite value of knowing Christ Jesus, my Lord. For his sake, I have discarded everything, counting it as garbage so that I can gain Christ." When we fail to let go of our past, we end up carrying too many burdens and too much baggage. And it prohibits us, it stops us, it can delay us from having that faith to change and grow. One of the best things about God is that He frees us from our past so we can start new. And your new can be every day. Your new can be every day. Your new can be every hour. It's not like you have to wait years to have a new. And that isn't so important for us when we look at it. But one thing that we have to determine is, what are the burdens that we need to let go of so that we can grow? Is it discouragement? Is it guilt? Is it indifference? Is it old paradigms that we're living out and haven't been either willing to change or have the knowledge to change? These are things that we can let go of: discouragement, guilt, indifference, old paradigms that have us locked into a way of life or a way of thinking that keeps us from really experiencing the fullness of God. Number three, keep looking ahead. Keep looking ahead. Philippians 3:14 says, I press towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. Not only do we need to let go of our past, but we also need to look ahead. Paul says that he's sprinting towards the goal and focusing forward. If you have ever ridden a motorcycle, that's one of my hobbies, right? So they tell you, don't look down, because when you're on the motorcycle, that's going to determine, you're on two wheels, not four. And so that's going to determine where you go. You've got to look ahead of you and focus on where you're going versus looking down and to the side, because that will turn your bike. You'll end up down in your bike. It's the same as when you're running track. We are taught to look forward. We're taught to look where we're going and keep our eyes there, because the more you get closer to that finish line, it seems like there's a burst of energy that comes that says, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Even if you're running a 440, you make that lap, that second turn, and you realize you're closer. You're closer. You're closer. You're coming into that last 100-yard dash, 50-yard dash towards the finish line. You can't get tired. We got to keep pushing. By looking ahead to where we want to go instead of looking at the other runners or the crowd, we make our bodies move forward towards the finish line. In other words, our bodies will go towards where we're looking. And that's the same spiritually. When we're looking ahead, we plan things and do things in our life that will push us towards that finish line, that will guide and direct us in a way that we will be able to move through this process, to be able to realize and have manifest the things that God has planned for us. Number 4, develop an attitude to learn. You're never too old to learn. We're just never too old to learn. We should be lifelong learners. I know somebody has coined that term, but we should be lifelong learners. There's something that we can always learn. Even as we're mature in age, had a lot of different experience, again, God still has more for us. Philippians 3:16 says this, so let's keep focused on the goal. Those of us who want everything God has for us. If any of you have something else in mind, something less than total commitment, God will clearly blur your vision so you'll see it. Yet, now that we're on the right track, let's stay on it. Sometimes when we're going through the process, as it says in James, you're going to face different trials and temptations. I don't always have the best attitude when I'm in the middle of a process of training me. I'm just going to be honest. I don't always have the best attitude. But I've got to go back and remember and put into perspective why I might be going through things. There might be something better on the other side of where I'm at right now. And that's the thing that I have to keep in front of me. There is something better than where I'm at right now. Even though I might be in a good spot, there's always better. There's always better. So I don't have time to throw pity parties. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to try to dissect things to the point where I'm trying to find a way to be upset. I've got to take what is going on, look at it, and learn from it. I've got to be able to have an attitude of learning, because in all things, God is trying to build our character to be able, for us to be able to have the capacity to hold more. And so as we're going through this process to become everything that God wants us to be, to fulfill our destiny, the key is always wanting to learn and not becoming fixed on where we currently are. There's so much more to God than we can even imagine. He's infinite and we're finite. Will we ever really learn all the facets of God? We might not. But at the same time, let's continue to dig, because there's more to him than what we know. There's more that he wants us to know about who he is, his plans for us, his love for us, the destiny that he has set for us. Our community, strives together to come to know God in a much deeper way. And we're here for encouragement. We're here for learning. We're here for development. We're here for training. And God has put us together to be able to do that. And so today, I just encourage you to trust God through the process. Allow God to work with you and to know that there is a power in yet. So let's pray. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for life, health, strength, and a sound mind in Christ Jesus. God, we thank you that you have placed dreams on the inside of us. You have a plan and a purpose for each of our lives. Father, we thank you, God, that you bring us into divine alignment with your plan. Father, we will trust with all of our heart, and we won't lean to our own understanding, knowing that you, the Holy Spirit, will direct us and lead us. Father, for you have not left us comfortless, but you've given us the Holy Spirit to help guide and direct us. And so, Father, today we thank you. We thank you, God, for taking us on this journey. We thank you, God, for putting us in the midst of a process to build our capacity, to grow closer to you, to know that you love us, you care for us, and that you will lead us and guide us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Dr. Denise, that was a powerful word this morning. The power of yet. The power of yet. Thank you for that word this morning. It was very timely. You know, it's that the difference in an individual that makes it and an individual that doesn't is that yet period. It's that in between period where a person will either push on or a person will give up. And even in our own trading journey, I just began, as you begin to give the devotion, I began to reflect on just the journey it has been with just entering into a new industry. I was in real estate, still am in real estate, but entering into this new industry, there was that yet phase that you have to go through. And I think we continue to go through that yet phase of what Paul said, I have not yet apprehended. You know, it's like I'm constantly reaching out for something because there's more. And there's that yet period where you can see a thing, but you're not standing in it yet. And it's how you manage that yet piece. And so I appreciate what you were saying here, this process of trusting the process. And we hear about individuals that have been through that process, that we read about it, individuals that have been through that process. But it's something else when you're going through that process, where you have a vision and you're obtaining that, and things are not aligning according to what you see in the vision. Will you give up or will you press on? And I feel that for everyone in the community that's here, is that we are people that have committed to pressing on. You know, it really takes time. Some people say it takes 100 hours. Some people say it takes 1,000 hours. Some people say it takes 10,000 hours to start a thing and to master and start getting production out of it. And it's what do you do at hour 4 when you got 100 more hours to go? What are you going to do? And it's you gave some key factors here I believe that it's important to have community, but outside of the communities on the outside, internally, what do you have that says keep going? Don't give up here. Don't stop here. Keep going. You'll get there. This is just a setback. Keep going, and you build on that internally. You connect with people that are like-minded in that nature, saying that we're going to keep going no matter what, no matter what we go through. So I appreciate that word that you gave this morning.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, keep looking ahead. That's the word. Keep looking ahead. It's something about, because I ride bikes as well. You gotta look ahead. And one of the things with the bike that early on that I had to learn how to do is taking a curve. Like if you're going on a curve, and so I would stare at the side because I'm in the curve, and I learned that you don't look at the curve, but you look ahead of the curve. And the bike will go in that direction, the direction that you look at. Keep your head up, stay straight up, look at let the bike lean, you look straight ahead, and you'll be fine. And I've learned how to take those curves.
That the first time I wanted to go to Minneapolis, I'm living in Roseville, I wanted to go to Minneapolis, and one of my girlfriends, she lived in Minneapolis, she bikes. And so I had taken the class, got my bike, right? And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to streets because that's too much stopping. So what do? I get on the freeway. Then I'm like close to downtown and I'm thinking, you got to go through the tunnel. You got to go through that tunnel. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, what did I just do? Because once you get down there, there's no way to change, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And I just had to remember what my instructor said. Continue to look forward. Don't look at the curve. Don't look down. Don't look, just lean and go forward. Yeah. And so once I made it to Minneapolis, she's like, well, did you come the streets? Which way did you come? I said, no, I came the freeway. And she fell out because I had no bike experience before. I had none. But I made it that route for me. It changed how I viewed things, and it made me more comfortable, in riding. And even when I bought the bike, she drove the bike home for me, right? I'm in the car. So, you look at those things and those teaching moments, and it's there to truly, build capacity. Train your eye to look forward. Train your eye to something different than how you've normally viewed things.
Yeah. No, that's good. And that's a life lesson to like the way that you're able to handle something that has a lot of power and a lot of velocity. It's easy to run just to go a straight path.
Yeah.
And life doesn't give you that. Life isn't always a straight path. You got to learn how to manage the curve that life throws at you sometimes. No, that's an excellent word. Let's bring Billy up to the stage. I see he's in the back room. How's it going, Billy?
Hey. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
See you feeling better?
Weekend. Yeah. I probably overdid it over the weekend. Not partying too hard. It's just it was a little bit of relaxation / a lot of work. So
yeah. No, you could definitely overdo it. I know I did over the weekend. Definitely overdid it. Yeah, we had a couple individuals call in this morning that were
really?
That's under the weather. Yeah. So
there's something going around.
Yeah, one hit me up, and then right after that one, another one hit me up, and so we'll keep them in prayer. But it's been something's been going around. Yeah. Well, how are you feeling coming back?
Good.
Excited about the week?
Yeah, I'm excited about making some stuff happen. Had a good week last week, and so looking forward for another good week.
Good.
Yeah. It's Wednesday already. We got
Feels
past
weird.
Memorial Day. This thing is just flying.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just the beginning of the week.
It does. Yeah.
But luckily for us, it's 2 more days to the weekend. That's
That's
how
true.
I'm looking at it right now.
That's true. We
'Cause
come
I'm-
out of one weekend and go to the other.
I'm going to be ready for the weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got another busy weekend ahead. We got a softball tournament that we're going to for our 14U team, so it'll be fun. It's an out of town one too, so it's
nice.
going to be starting games on Friday. Probably won't end until games will end on Sunday, so it'll be a lot of softball.
A lot of softball. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, softball dad.
Yep. My daughter loves it, and I'm an assistant coach. It's almost one of those where she wouldn't play unless I agreed to assistant coach. And I was like, there's going to be a day where I'm just not going to be able to anymore because you're going to grow out of that and into high school and they have their own coaches. So I'll do it as long as I can.
that will happen.
Yeah.
Then they forget about you. My grandchildren. I happy with my kids first. They got older. We were best friends when they were little. They got older, and they wanted to live their own life for some reason. And then, so I turned to the grandkids, and the oldest just turned 10, and and then another one just turned 7, and then one just turned 6, just a couple weeks ago. And so I'm starting to notice it. I'm like, okay, here it goes again. You start to get your own friends. I'm not invited to the birthday party. You want to have the summer party with the girls. Okay. You gotta. And so it was the one thing with my son, his sports Titus really kept me in focus all the way up until I coached him from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Mm.
Okay.
And so that really kept the bond. As soon as he went to high school, it was like, okay, friends, I no longer need dad, and they go live their own life. So
Yep.
you enjoy it. Point moral of the story, enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to, every day, because my daughter's in 8th grade and she's going into high school this fall. And it's that same thing, when she was little, it was all about dad. And now she's got her friends. She's always hanging out. It's like no longer need dad. She can't wait to drive and all that. And it's like once you start driving, you really won't need dad.
Yeah. You sit on the shelf for a little bit, and one day they'll come get you off the shelf.
Yeah. But then we got Liam. It's his birthday today. He's turning 9 years old.
Oh, nice! Happy birthday!
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And so he's still all about dad. So we got a few more years there.
Yeah. Got a few more with Leo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, happy birthday to him.
Yeah,
I'm sure
for
he had
sure.
some fun
Totally said
things.
happy birthday.
Yeah. Well, he's still sleeping, but when he gets up, I'll definitely let him know.
Yeah, he'll be coming down pretty soon.
He will be. He's a riser.
Yeah. Put a happy birthday in the chat. Happy birthday, Liam, in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, Tisha.
Yeah. Well, let's shift a little bit. We're gonna go into some of the. Let me throw up this disclaimer first. Let me do that. Got to do that. And then we'll jump into some headline news. So this disclaimer: trading involves substantial risk of loss. It's not suitable for all individuals. Any live streaming of trading activities is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The content provided is not intended as financial advice and should not be construed as such. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decision. The hosts of this live stream do not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any information presented and should not be held liable for any losses incurred as a result of trading decisions made based on the current content of the stream. Past performance is not indicative of future results. viewers participate in trading activities at their own risk. We say it every morning. It's important for you to do your own analysis. We are going to flow through the markets. We have put in the chart time. We see what we see, some in a profit, some in a loss, but you have to consider it for your own risk. All right, so let's shift into headline news this morning. We got a lot, or not a lot, going on with headline news, and we'll see that shortly. I'm going to bring up Forex Factory. Have it already prepared. Isn't that something? Already prepared for you. Forex Factory is where we get our economic events. It's our economic event calendar. Last night we had I'm just clicking on some things that you can't see just to pull up some things. So last night we had AUD news that came in, CPI year to year 3.6. Really, we haven't really been trading currency futures since we left the Forex space. But those CPI reports are important factors when you're trading currencies. You got to pay attention to those. We weren't trading it, but they are important. We were looking at USD news. So CP consumer confidence, it made the dollar very bullish for the interim. Dollar became very bullish. It caused gold and indices to retrace. That's why we pay attention to these economic folders. Today, we get no USD red folder news. All right, so we're going to see a continuation from yesterday. We do have some yellow folder, some orange folder that's coming in a little after the New York bell with Richmond Manufacturing Index. Any indication of where the economy is headed is important during this time of heavy inflation. So pay attention to that. Remember what Chairman Jerome Powell said at his last press conference, and what Bostic and Waller also said, that they need more data, all right, before they make a decision, before they even consider cutting the interest rates. That more data are these type of folders, these orange folders, these red folders that come in play. So that'll tell what the overall climate's going to do. It's going to control investor sentiment in the market, whether we're going to sell off or push higher. So we got to pay attention to that. Also, we have to pay attention when FOMC members speak, whether they're voting members or non-voting members. We have to pay attention. And today they speak after lunch. So we'll get that coming in. Williams will speak, Bostic will speak. And then we get red folder news tomorrow. So that's really what we're holding out for, is preliminary GDP, gross domestic product, quarter to quarter. What is the change on that? And then we get unemployment claims, which we saw has been a significant effect going into inflation talks. How is inflation affecting employment? So we'll get that, and then pending home sales. That red folder news comes tomorrow. We'll see with what no red folder news will do for us today. Real quickly, before we shift too far, I want to bring up the DXY. Let's talk about DXY. It's a dollar strength indicator. This dollar strength indicator is showing, oops, don't want to show that yet. DXY, there it is. Let's go to the hour, reset. Let me go to the 4 hour, show a broader picture of where we're at in time. All right, let me go to the day so we can really see. All right, where we're at in time is we're currently being squeezed in the market. We're printing new higher lows while we're printing lower highs. That makes sense. Higher lows and lower highs. Yeah, that makes sense to me. If you say it real fast, it's a tongue twister. But that's what we're doing, is we're squeezing. We're coming lower, but we're coming higher. And we're right now in between the squeeze. Which direction is it going to go? We've marked this out before as far as ranges are concerned. We're climbing down in the ranges. And so we know that we're in a downtrend. But that downtrend, as we come consolidated, came down into this range, consolidated, came down into this range. We know that this downtrend is meeting a more major trend. All right, so this is the major trend where we are rejecting and haven't been able to close up. So will this trend line cause DXY to gain some strength? That is likely, and if that's likely, the indices and metals is going to retrace. All right, so that's something to pay attention to. That is today's headline news. So we got a few things going. In the market that's gonna cause a little bit. That DXY on a major level of support could be something that pushes us up today, or pushes indices down today, and we'll see where we find support. But interesting. No red folder news, so this should be an interesting day for today.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, let's shift. Let's get to it. And what are we seeing for today? Let me see. When Terrace is not here, I don't have time to hit the button. All right. All right, Terrace, we need you so I can hit these buttons. All right, you know what time it is. Let's see. Let me see. Let me hit the button.
Uh-oh.
Red zone time. All right, red zone, we're here. Hit the right buttons. We're getting ready to shift into our charting. All right, there we go. Now it feels better. Now we can make the shift into the charts.
Feels right now.
It feels right now. Yeah. I do want to talk about this gold piece that's happening currently.
Yeah. Did you see the little red dot up there that the data's not accurate?
Yeah.
They're having data issues.
Well, I think we shifted into the August contract. Let me see. I think we should be shifting into the August contract for June.
Yeah, and
I'm on a micro.
So the ask and bid quotes are displayed for August contract, while June contract is on the charts.
Let me see if we get the data piece with the August, because I did notice that. Yeah, I think you got to shift to your August contract because June is expiring. So I'm going to bring the August contract for gold up. Actually, NinjaTrader alerted me of that early this morning when I opened that up. It says your June contract is expiring. Switch to August. And that's important that we do that. Dr. Ann says, how do you do that? You hit that plus button, go to the futures, type in the instrument. I think it's just gold right now. Type in the instrument that you're looking for. I trade micro gold. You may trade the regular gold. There's a little arrow to the left of the symbol. You click that and you'll see the different contracts there. And you can just add that way. And one of the things with futures market is that they are, remember we had this discussion that distributors and producers are buying future contracts. So they may be in April buying a June contract. They want to hedge against inflation. And so that's the way that they do that. McDonald's will buy their grain, or General Mills may buy some grain products, some December contracts in April so that they can control price through inflation. All right. And so those contracts expire in that month. They're no longer good. So June contracts are expiring. Now we're moving to August. That's the reason being. All right, so with this gold trade, I am it was an interesting day yesterday. Now evening markets was a lot different. We had a very successful trade in the evening markets, but the day market yesterday, it was catching a falling knife. It was like, where's this thing falling?
That's a good description.
Yeah,
Oh.
yesterday was the falling knife. I could really, it was like after 5 trades, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it. So I had to control risks there. End up making it all back in the evening, but it was interesting day. But we're kind of in that day to day, just a little different. So in lieu of trying to catch the falling knife, we have what could potentially serve as support. We're at a key level. Let's call it that. Let's just say that to be on the safe side. We're at a key level right now on gold. And I've been looking at this because we have been falling. And we potentially could come down a little further. If you look at this being, creating all-time highs and then this retracement breaking through this somewhat of a neckline, we could be coming a lot further down. But in the interim, do we think that this level is going to hold? And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now, of whether this level is going to hold. I'm kind of watching it right now. I don't have a take on it, but this is liquidity right here that we could start climbing out of this today. Looks very bearish right now, but possibly could, if we're not going to get into the buys, at least watch the buy off of this level, and then at this level look for the sale if you're not into buys. But I think this level that we're at is very interesting. What's your thoughts on this level?
I'm trying to correct my chart here.
You're switching over to the August chart?
Yeah, because and so yeah, I did. But I just thought, so my other chart that I had up was just the regular micro gold. So I was surprised that that one didn't have data on it, because I hadn't specifically like niched down to a month.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out later.
Yeah, I've got the same thing, just the regular micro gold chart, and I got the same notice.
Yeah. So on your we're right on a trend line on the 4 hour. Are we? Let me see on this one. Yeah, right on a trend line on the 4 hour. So I'm just wondering, yeah, right in there. So how this is going to play out. Because it still looks like, again, I don't know if that trend line will actually hold up. When you go to the 8 hour, it might just break through that, but it hasn't been able to kind of break that trend line. So I'm kind of wondering about that.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the pattern that I'm kind of seeing on it too is, we've got that drop, and it's kind of in a channel at a slight upward angle where it was climbing a little bit. And I've seen before where when you get that big move, that channel kind of going in the opposite direction, that then it'll just keep falling. And so that's kind of what it feels like to me. It almost feels like that drop where we get this little climb was the reaction in this area, and then now it's just going to fall through it.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it feels like. But you know, we don't always go off feelings, right?
Right.
Sometimes you got to trust those feelings.
Yeah.
They're leading you in the right direction. But yeah, I could see it that way as well, where we get the this level of resistance that's going,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of creates the left shoulder, right shoulder, and
Yeah.
so this would create the neckline. Or
Mm-hmm.
actually, this could also create the neck. Well, neckline could be here, but neckline could also be right here. So either
Mm-hmm.
or, this break that it's currently at is going to be important.
Yeah.
And I like to measure those. If that is the case and that is the neckline, as far as when that neckline breaks, the distance that could travel,
Mm-hmm.
equal to the amount of consolidation that could produce come down and fill some of these fair value gaps that's sitting down here.
Yeah, and then that would bring it right to a place on the left, right there,
Yeah.
where you've had, some consolidation. So that could be the target.
Yeah.
You're on the what? On the daily?
Yeah, I'm on the daily right now. And so a breakout of this range and a retest could send us down to that structure. Then, that kind of lens of where the DXY is at right now as well, is that DXY is finding some level of support in here, and
Mm-hmm.
whether that's going to climb out of that and go higher. It certainly has been getting some good news lately, and we possibly could see that start to climb out. If that does, that lends to the sell on gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's kind of in the back of my mind too, is that the dollar has had such positive news over the last week on multiple things, and so it's like, with not having the news today, why would it not just kind of continue in that direction?
Yeah, that's my thoughts on it as well. Of is this a retracement, or and we haven't really seen it. It's printing higher lows and it's printing higher highs right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the interim is bullish,
Right.
where it's finding a level of support, but this could just be a bearish flag pattern.
Because when you look at like the 2-day, 3-day, and the week, it looks like it's going to continue to be like the 2-day. You're still in that upper half of the TDI. So are we just going down to come back up and create a higher high? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn there. And then on the 3-day, you still got the TDI in that upper half. So maybe pull down maybe a little more, and then to spring back up.
Yeah, and on the flip side to that too, I saw that we had regular divergence, where the previous high price was lower than the new high that it created, but our TDI was the opposite. So it's like, is that divergence going to play out? Or like you were saying, because we're kind of ranging in that top half, the TDI, is it just going to keep pushing it up?
You talking about the regular divergence?
Yeah, you could really see it on the 2 and 3 day.
Yeah, it's on the day too as well. That regular divergence of the sell-off, which is on that high of a time frame, it'd be swinging it down to there. So it does have bearish pressure. We have exhaustion to the upside. We've kind of hit our limit, our max, and so we do have that downward pressure. Plus, risk is on the dollar right now, And so when risk is on the dollar, we take it off of gold. All right, so that kind of creates our bias that there's bearish pressure in the market currently. The lower time frames is in disagreement right now, so we could come up within this range. That's what we have to take a look at if this range is going to hold that we're currently in. Take the MAs off. If that range is going to hold, then and this acts as support, it could give us a cheaper price to get into those sales. But it kind of looks like the sales should take place today. It's just a matter of how they at what price are they going to take place.
Yeah.
All right, and so this is these kind of things is what we look for. Is like you had a failed shark fin that really didn't make it up to any significant place. Let's see, let me turn these on. Yeah, it really didn't make it up to a significant place, but it's coming down for the retest. Possibly could at least catch buys up to the session anchor VWAP in the interim. Could see that retest of some of these breakout structures. So here was support. We broke that support. We possibly could create a double bottom, come up, retest that support, climb on top of it, head up to the session anchor VWAP. But I do think we're going to see a bearish day. I don't think that negative 68% through the London session is going to turn green today. But that just means that we're going to get a better price for the shorts.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep our eye out on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to pay attention to this one just because I like the level that this liquidity level that it's on. That we wouldn't have to go much lower than this to catch the initial buys back up to the upside. Could be something just based on the divergence that's being created. 15-minute divergence and lower. Really, yeah, as high as, so 45-minute and lower are all divergent. 1 hour is starting the shark fin. And then 3-4 hour are kind of neutral on position. So this is a lower time frame play, where the higher time frames, the hour, 45-minute, 30 shark fin divergence, and then 15-minute, we could probably trade that up to VWAP. I really do like that kind of play for the pre-market. And then if it is going to find support here, and then it could sell off from there. I mean, it could just come up, retest this, then just sell off from there, or come up back up to the major level and sell off. But this could be interesting, whether that we find support here. I think we don't have to go much lower than this. I think I'm going to take a very cheap play here. Yeah, I would only have to risk $230 at this level to see if this bottom holds here. So I think I'm going to enter in at $230. I think I'm going to enter in there. Yeah, I enter in as a limit though, to see if it comes down and retest this bottom. So we'll see if that gets triggered here. Don't like the limit though. Let me enter in as a market order. So it costs me $3.90 as a market order. I kind of want to be on heavy when it does go. All right, I like this. I like this play. I like the divergence on it. I trade these 15-minute, 5-minute divergences all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look at how cheap this I can get this here. I'm probably going to end up taking this trade just based on the divergence that's being created, and hoping that it doesn't squeeze too far down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're getting a cheap price here. And I like the exhaustion of the last 15-minute candle. So let me I'm going to enter into the buy right there. All right, so I have 20 micro contracts on that one. We'll see how that one plays out. And if this level is broke and it retests, then we'll look at it from the downside. But I'm just trading the divergence that's currently there. We'll watch that. This is going to be an interesting one because it's one of those, this is a pure divergence play. It's one of those things that you kind of develop confidence in that over time, and it has worked out for us. It hasn't been 100% accurate, but you can get that 70-80% accuracy on it. Mm-hmm. And so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one for a minute.
Yeah. Definitely has some downward pressure.
Yeah.
And this is based off of divergence on the trend line. So let's see. And it's hitting the liquidity level, so we'll see. I'm gonna pull this one up just as current trades and go from there. Do you have it? You guys want to look at anything really quick? I'm gonna switch to show this trade from Nikkei last night.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So this trade from Nikkei. So originally, this was a nice 1 to 5 yesterday on Nikkei. During evening markets. Yeah. So originally I got in the take profit target was the trend line. This 4 hour. So we had great reactions off of this trend line before, and that's what we were coming down to is that trend line. So we were up here. We had this big exhaustion wick that came through on the you can see it on the 15-minute. Where 7 o'clock candle pushed up, and then, right before, this is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock candle pushed up, that 15-minute pushed right back down, and we came into the markets here. And so I entered into the initial sale here, where it pushed down, and then right when we were getting off the call, price began to push back up. So I moved my stop loss to break even, and we do our take back the coat strategy, where we take back the coat and buy it back cheaper. So it took me out of break even here. I re-entered at the same position, and price just retested here, and then I went to bed. It was right after the Timberwolves won last night.
Yay!
It was a close nail biter. I was like, oh, you guys better not fouled out. I was like, oh, y'all gonna give it up and get swept, and they finally pulled it out, and then right after that, I went to bed and I woke up, and it hit my take profit down here, but it's continuing to fall, and that was the trade from last night, where it's just one of those ones where you wouldn't have to hold it too long. It ended up going 1 to 5, and I know a few people on the call have made that trade as well, so hopefully they were able to hold. But it was a really good trade from last night. Really liked that trade that went through.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, for the sell-off, and it's just a matter of finding bottoms. If you will stretch these over, just a matter of if these. It's kind of the reason why I bring this up, because it's kind of with gold. Is that as the markets were selling off through the night, it's coming down to levels of support that potentially could turn into buys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost entered into a sell on Nikkei because we had the softball game last night, so I couldn't be on the call last night. But it was about what time was that? 10:30 last night. I kind of looked and saw what you guys did on that, and saw a slight pullback, and then it was like, oh man, this thing's gonna keep going down. So I ended up placing the idea on there, and then went to bed. But yeah, it was one of those, like, it was I would have went into a little bit of drawdown, but then it just, after that, it just took right off, and yeah, that was a good play last night.
Yeah, I like the way that it melted away. So really, I just made my money back from the morning. That's basically what happened.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Break even day.
Yep. I'll
That's
live with
a good
that.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So starting to look at the buys as well on Nikkei. See if it's going to buy back up to at least VWAP. That's where the breakdown happened. So looking to see if it's going to buy back up during New York session. It's a strong possibility. It's produced highs here before off of this level.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I look at, is, has it produced highs here, or has it been a major level before? And yeah, it has. So potential for it to do it again. So this is also, don't like the way the shark fin is looking right now. And don't like how the lower time frames are not in confluence with it. So it's really more of the higher time frames that look like it's going. This is like a 4-hour type trade to the upside. So really don't like that one.
We got platinum at a level of significance as well, where it was support, a little bit of, kind of a mixture of support and resistance right where it's at. So you can see it pretty good if you go to the hour chart.
You're looking at this as if the support level is going to hold?
Yeah, kind of seeing, is it going to hold, or are we going to break through this and then retest and then continue back down? So that's actually more of what I'm looking at, is it possibly breaking this level, retesting it, and then taking a sell down on it, if the dollar keeps going bullish.
Yeah, this was a trade we took yesterday. Same trade that we took at this level, actually. And we actually fared out good on the, we had two trades on platinum yesterday on the morning call. And what the first one, we took too high. I think we took it off of I think it was somewhere in here where we took the buy. Yeah, I think I took the buy right here. And then it pushed down a little lower and ended up taking the buy on the call. So the first one, I think, broke even. The second one hit the take profit. But we're on that same level.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing. So could and I think that's a possibility. That's kind of what we're setting up for with gold, is could we be doing the same thing here? Like, only reason I don't like it here is because over here yesterday we kind of got the test going on and the bouncing. So it wasn't, it was like a slow start, or you could tell that the sale momentum was ending, and so you got a lot of tests over here. we just broke through.
Mhm.
Right. So this 15-minute candle just broke through this resistance level, and that's the reason why it looks, to me, it looks different. You don't have that reaction right now, but we definitely could start that. Yeah, you don't start to see it until you get to like the 1 minute to the really low time frames. So we need to see some exhaustion on this 30-minute, or even the 15-minute. We need to see some exhaustion before you take that one.
And that's why I kind of have the sell bias on it, just because it just looks like that's what it wants to do, because we haven't seen, like you said, the exhaustion or the retest or anything. It just kind of came straight to this level. Looks like it's starting to break it a little bit.
Yeah, it wants to melt. And you know, especially if this is the top, if that was the top that was put in, as it breaks these lows, like the target on this could be pretty low.
Yeah.
And we know how platinum is. Once platinum gets going, it's hard to stop it. And that's what we're
almost.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I almost caught the sell on this morning. It had a nice 1 minute shark fin where the 50 and 200 were, and it was a touch of the 5 minute 50. I missed the shark fin, so I had the idea there, and I was just waiting for the signal, and I missed it. But yeah, it just started melting off from there.
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea that I'm looking at for gold. With risk on the dollar, we're expecting the sell-offs to happen on metals and indices.
Mm-hmm.
And so the interim buys is just to get us into position for the sale. So I'm kind of looking at where, since we're breaking through right here on platinum, it's setting up for the buy. If once the buy happens, that the retest could be here. This could potentially be the opportunity for the sale here. So I'm gonna put an alert at the place that we broke out at and see if we get the retest back to the upside. Because that would be a nice move.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah, as silver does the retest itself, all of these are retesting and setting up for really like that retest. I think it's going to bleed through though. This is a neckline. It has a lot of potential to bleed right through that, with the dollar increasing on strength. And we really don't have red folder news on the dollar. We just have FOMC members speaking, but that's going to be light folder news because they're just guest speakers. It's not a they usually don't speak too much on policy, future policy.
Yeah, the Richmond Manufacturing Index is an orange folder, and that's the biggest news event we got today.
All right, let's look at indices here quickly. Let's go through some of the indices, see what we see. Now, chat. Every time we get to these we get around that 8 o'clock hour, everyone starts announcing that they made profit. It's like, oh, I was in this, I made profit. I was in this. Now is the time to tell everyone what trades you're looking at.
Looks like platinum might be coming for that retest.
Yeah, I have an alert on platinum. Should be going off pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah, if you're thinking shorts, that would be the place to get in, is off of the retest of the structure that it broke out of. If you're looking at that, are you planning to take that one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
Let's see what a potential target is. Yeah, we like that exhaustion on the 15-minute. Yeah, well, like to see how this one closes out. Like to see how this 15-minute candle closes out first. Because if it closes out with a lot of exhaustion, that next candle potentially could be could have multiple candles, sort of like what we had up here. If that 15-minute starts to exhaust out, we start to get the next 15 minutes climbing up.
Yeah,
we'll see what that exhaustion does here.
Because the previous low that it made there, if we retrace up to that to me would probably be a good spot for it to turn resistance.
Yeah, up here.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit higher looking left. That. Like at like 4:30 this morning, at like 10:57 ish, 56.
Yeah.
Gold looks like it's taking off.
Is it now in the right direction?
In the right direction.
That's always the question. Is it taking off in the right direction?
In the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not looking at this as the move. We're just trading the divergence right now.
Yeah.
We could certainly reject it, come down, but divergence at least gives you an opportunity to move your stop loss to break even.
Michelle said that she was in and it hit a target of 564. That's great.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Come on,
great job, Michelle. Michelle's been killing it. I love it. Michelle's been killing it. Yeah, we like divergence. We like divergence. No, that's good. Okay, I'm just seeing that. Yeah, I'm in gold. Yeah, nice. Hit her target and out. That's a smart move.
Yeah, if you could do $500 a day, 5 days a week,
adds up.
$10,800 a month, something like that.
It adds up.
Billy, you got that calculator going, don't you?
Oh, I've been doing the math, sitting there thinking like, what do I gotta do to, make what I want to make.
Yeah.
And anything else after that is just a bonus. And yeah, I think I was looking at it, and yeah, $500 a day, if you can do that consistently throughout the year, is like $130,000 a year.
Nice.
Yeah, and if and you get consistent with that, and you add another account doing the same thing, that's the scalability of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Tim, you were talking about oil, and that reached its 80. You were talking about it going up to 80.
Yeah. That is the number that oil has been respecting. That was a good buy there. And I think we get crude oil inventories today. Actually,
no, not today. Crude oil is tomorrow at 10.
Okay, that's because of the holiday. It must have pushed
Yeah.
back a day.
Yeah. So we'll get
But
that
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I would, that was one that I was looking at taking yesterday and just didn't take it. That and wheat. I was looking at wheat as well, which is really in the same spot. Like this is the trade I did from yesterday. Back here. Where was it? What was yesterday? Tuesday? No, we were right here yesterday. Right on this trend line. So we kind of broke through that. Yeah, that's it. So we were on the trend line yesterday on the call. Yeah, it was this candle here, which did kind of push up, but then it broke through and we've kind of been at the bottom now. Here, but I'm still looking for this rise out of wheat. So that and oil. But we knew oil was going to hit 80. That's been a respected number for a while at that range looking left.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had wheat on my chart, and then I think when I tried to clean it up, I took it off. So maybe I'll add it back on there.
Yeah, something I very rarely change. I just like the levels. When I see the levels, it's becomes interesting. We get this. We got it on structure, and commodities respect structure quite a bit. But we got a clear level of support. Kind of reject off of that. Yeah, we're starting to get the move now on wheat.
Yeah, it's really that daily looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now, have you done much with Bitcoin on futures?
Not since it's been in this range. We've been stuck in this range here. So that's the only thing I've been watching is top of range, bottom of range. But I haven't really been interested. And there's only two scenarios I'm interested in. Is it breaking to the downside of adding positions in, or it breaking to the upside, breaking 72 and staying on top of that?
Okay.
Those are the two scenarios I'm interested in. I'm not really interested in the range right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Tamisha trades that. I don't see her on this morning. But I know she's always looking at Bitcoin. I have not done much with it, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's I haven't done day trading with it. It's more of a longer term investment.
And hold, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if we're looking at it as something that's here to stay.
For sure. For sure.
All right, platinum's falling out.
Yeah.
Gold is still pushing up. Let's look at the equities.
I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to check on the kiddos real quick.
Okay. Birthday, you got to let them sleep in for the birthday. All right, so S&P, we're going to go through S&P, NQ, and US 30. Now that we're starting to get, and for the most part, we've produced a lower high. We hit all-time highs here and produced lower highs, and then got the is currently getting a sell-off here. And I'm kind of still, even though I'm in that gold buy, I'm starting to kind of bearish right now on indices and metals.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, seeing this level of support, we got to see if it's broke on DXY, and if this is going to produce a high there. And so these retracements, any kind of retracements, are just temporary, and then the opening bell may become bearish again.
Yeah, that would be the tell of the tape once we get opening bell, because right now I'm just marking up my levels here. I don't, again, it's like, what do you usually trade, and then what are you going to look at? So
yeah, and when we start seeing in the YouTube videos, if you go through, I think it's towards the end, but we got how to detect false shark fins, and one of the ways is through time frame confluence. When you start seeing the time frames, like this 15 minutes high, it's touching the bands, it's saying sell, but then you start seeing, as you go down, you start seeing indications of buys. It's not saying the same thing that the higher time frame is saying.
Yeah.
So that's when you don't really want to trust the shark fins. We kind of developed it now where, if we see the bands open up and we see it ranging below the 50 or above the 50, we kind of know that that's a sale. But to blindly take these would be kind of risky. I would just trust the sale in lieu of trying to catch the buy.
Right.
Sort of like what I should have did yesterday. Sort of what I could have did. I'm the best trader when the day after.
We always are, right? It's all the things that we can see, after the fact. Yesterday, I stopped trading early because I just I hit a wall and I'm like, okay, I need to just step back and just take a look, and manage my risk, and go from there. And then I'm going back later in the day and I'm like, you still don't want to close out the chart, right? You say you're not trading, but you just don't want to close out the chart. So yeah. Tamisha says she's on. Hey there, Tamisha. She's watching on her Roku.
We're on the big screen.
Yep. So she hasn't done much over the last week with Bitcoin. And then Mia says nothing special that she's looking at today either.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could get paid for the hindsight, the 2020, Tamisha, we would be doing great.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. We're starting to get that rejection here off of gold, which we were thinking for the it's that old support now turning into resistance. So we got to break through this level. We got about a couple minutes left on this 5-minute candle, and we're starting to get that exhaustion. So I moved my stop loss to break even. I'm gonna move it up just a little bit. I think we're gonna come back down off of that retest, and I'll jump out of it at that point. And if price, the way that I look at it is that my, if my expectation is up here, if this is the neckline, that we'll come up and break that head up and hit VWAP. That's the move that I'm looking for right there. And so this entry here is just a cheap way to get into that move. But if it pushes down lower and does the retest, I wouldn't mind getting out with a little bit of profit and then getting in heavier to catch that move up to the upside.
Yeah.
because really the move that I'm looking for is here, this retest at this level, because that's really where the breakout occurred. This is the retest that I'm looking for.
Right. I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
The only thing with, and I like the exhaustion here. I like the divergence of the exhaustion here. We just don't have the volume to push it up. So low volume can mess up good structure.
Right. And you've got that, if it's able to climb above that 50, you're on the 5 minute.
Yeah.
If it's able to climb above that 50, we've still got a chance, which that 5 minute looks like, we could, but it's those higher time frames that just make you wonder exactly, how far it'll get.
Yeah, we're starting to get a breakdown. We've got 2 failed attempts so far off of this retest.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're starting to get the breakdown now. On price, which is fine. This is a risk-free trade. I'm just moving my stop up below where it is finding liquidation on the retest. Actually, probably should be below that candle. But just watching this play out. Yeah, I'm going to take off half of the position here, let the rest run. So I'm going to sell 10 contracts and leave the rest at break even. So it took $150 off the table and left 10 at break even. A little bit above break even. And it didn't automatically take that off, modify that order. I'll modify, that one modified as well. All right, so risk is off of that. Now I can look at something else. Drop down there quick.
Yeah, did that produce a gap there?
Yeah, it does that on the lower time frames.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a lot of gaps. Like if you jump down to the 1 minute, it starts to gap around like that.
Cool.
And my good old friend NQ. There's no hard feelings here. No hard feelings. We're seeing that you want to sell off. Everyone said to sell off. You just try to make it go a different direction.
Yeah. Let's see what's happening there. Oh, that was let me look at the 1 hour.
But I will say this, we did get price to move. What did you say? It just made you just made 1,000 on Bitcoin, Michelle.
Oh my gosh. Michelle, you are hitting it hard this morning.
Right?
Come on, look, Michelle, do you want to share your screen? Because you're on it. You are on it.
Let's go.
I love it. I love it.
Done for the day. Nice. It's over $1,500.
Yes.
That's a good day.
It is.
Congrats, Michelle.
And trading Bitcoin at that. That's good. So were you in shorts or were you in longs there? Inquiring minds want to know.
Want to know. Please tell us.
You know, one thing I've noticed for myself is how I describe what happened for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's I've noticed that it's a lot of egotistical terminology in the way I describe what happens in the day. When I journal and I look at stuff, so I say there's a lot of I's in there. So I put the position here, I did this, I did that, and there's very little conversation of what the market did.
Mm. Mm.
And if you look at that, I know I am insignificant to what the market is doing.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention to what you are doing versus what the market is doing, it makes it very hard to pivot. If you say, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, well, that has nothing to do with the direction that the market went in.
Right.
You know,
so true.
So I'm starting to shift that to say this is what the market did versus what I did.
Yeah, better way to frame it.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's sort of like saying, this is what I did and this is what God did. If you focus on what you're doing and not on what God is doing, you're gonna be just make sure you're in alignment with what the bigger move is.
Yeah. Michelle, you are so funny. You are funny. You say I'm smiling over here, don't know what to tell you, long or short. Okay, just tell us, was it up or down? Just tell us, was it up or down? Okay, we'll work on the terminology later.
Right.
Up or down?
What button? Did you push a red button or a blue button?
Like the Matrix here, red or blue pill.
Hey, tell us which one you took. The red, the blue, the up, the down.
Oh, man.
That's exciting to me, though, for someone to say, okay, they've made $1,500. We've only been on here an hour, right?
Yeah.
Hour and 47 minutes. But yet and still, out of all of that, we were only looking at the charts probably the last hour, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, she took the red pill. Go on, girl. You took the red pill. Okay. And for someone to be watching and working through with us, right, as we're looking at stuff, not know the terminology.
Yeah.
But can spout a sale and can take it and make $1,000. Michelle, you go on, girl. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I like about it too. I think Michelle just wasn't overthinking it. It's just, hey, set up, let's do this.
It's the simplicity of it. The rest of it will come, but evidently, Michelle, you have an eye for the chart, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
This proves you don't need to know the terminology to make money in the charts.
No.
Yeah. It's
awesome.
It's really just that. It's like if you like to fish, you don't have to be an oceanographer to go fishing. It's like, I want to catch a fish. You don't really have to study the ocean to know how to drop a rod in the water.
Right.
And put the worm on the hook, throw the line, and see what comes up. And that's the simplicity of this trade. Like, don't put too much, take yourself out of it. Look, if you see it, take the trade.
Right.
As long as you're controlling risk management, that's really the piece that you have to manage. As long as you're controlling your risk, make a decision.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah, it's given to the action takers. Michelle is an action taker. She's taking action, so that's great. That's great to see.
I love it.
All right, so I hit my break even on gold. I took out half of the position before it did. But really what we're looking at is this retest. Sort of the same retest that we're looking for on platinum as well, to see if it's going to sell off. Now, I still think that we have some room to push up before I start eyeing the sales.
Mhm.
Still want to see the hour get exhausted for that to close and be exhausted. But this level still shows that there's buyers in the market, and this is the target up here. So still not ready to jump in off of this retest.
You got way more exhaustion on those 15-minute candles on gold than you did platinum. Platinum, we started getting some exhaustion, but not much. It's just kind of a wick on the candle, and then it just kept pushing down.
Yeah, it was this wasn't really much of a retest on platinum, and that's what we say, when platinum starts moving, it moves. But that pull back was all that it gave you on the 1 minute. Was It broke here, gave you that pullback. That was the entry to melt it down. Did you take it there?
I did not. I
Okay.
was waiting for it to come up a little bit higher.
Okay,
But
that's right.
knowing platinum, I should not have expected that. But better to play it safe than sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good move on platinum this morning.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking these movements though on the metals for the most part. Just even though they're not playing way out, you're still getting movement where it's giving you some kind of direction,
Mhm.
give you some kind of retest areas to play off of. So we do like that. I haven't seen that too much with indices yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Dow, and it's like, I know it's going down, but to say like levels here, I've got one at like 38,590. So maybe that's what I'll just stick with for now.
Yeah,
It's so far left, it's
a slow bleed. It's a slow
Yeah.
bleed down.
Yeah, anything comparable is so far left that you got to go all the way back. Good grief, you got to go all the way back to get something left, all the way back to the 9th of May.
And I'm just not I'm fine with just not being that type of trader where you just set it and forget it. This is one of those slow bleeds that you just enter in and just walk away from the chart.
Yeah.
Saying that it's going to be down here somewhere. It's
somewhere.
like,
it's going to be down there somewhere.
We know it's going to be a negative day.
Right.
It's just hard for my, and it's part of that development. I like what you said in the devotion is that you're always learning.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to stop learning. That's one of those pieces where I'm a lifelong learner in this. It's like, I'm not there yet to just enter in a position, just let it bleed off. Like I missed a lot of those bleed offs.
Yeah, and I think that's basically what I'm gonna look to do today on this is take a smaller position, set it and leave it, because I just don't see it. I don't see it turning around. Really, I don't.
Yeah.
I think
like this was the neckline here. If you look at just this right shoulder hitting up this shoulder, it kind of was a little skewed here. Let's put it here. But usually the way these patterns work is that head length will be the profit target once it breaks. And so that puts it somewhere in this range of where it potentially could go.
Yeah.
That's my drawings. Who's to say that market is thinking the same way?
Right.
But traditionally, that's what Head and Shoulders will do it gives you some kind of range of where we possibly could be going.
Yeah, and that's right around that that 4 hour 800 is right down in that area.
It's not coming on my screen for me.
Yeah,
Refresh.
you don't get an MA until that 4 hour. You don't get anything down there until that 4 hour hits.
It's just not populating on my screen for me.
No.
That's Mag 3. I have it checked. It's just not coming up.
Well, I hate to do it, guys, but I gotta jump off the charts here for a little bit and get the kiddos off to school and all that.
All right.
But
Good to see you,
yeah,
Billy.
yeah, you too, and trade safe. And Michelle, great job today. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I gotta say about that. It's just awesome.
We love to see it. Yeah, good
Love to
job,
see
Billy.
it.
What are you looking at for the rest of the day?
Kind of looking at platinum, possibly US 30. See if I can't get in on that bleed off. Sometimes it's just hard to tell on where to get in on that. But I'll probably be watching that. Might take a look at NQ, and possibly gold. I'll probably keep an eye on gold too, just to see, if we get a pull back into the market, maybe catch some sells or something on that. Actually, I might watch that more than platinum, just because how far platinum's bled off. I'll just set an alert on platinum at the previous support area, see if we come back for a retest and take a sell there.
Yeah.
And then obviously just kind of watch and see how the markets develop. And if I see something, I'll take something.
Okay. Awesome. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, sounds good. Appreciate y'all. Everybody have a good day.
All right,
Take care, Billy.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm if I do take another trade, I'm going to be with the market today. Market is saying that it's selling off. You see that indices and gold is in the red. So that's the direction that I'm going to be in.
For sure.
If it was on the borderline where it was barely red, then yeah, I'll start looking at that. But no, I'm kind of thinking for the shorts for indices and gold right now. It's just a matter of where we get in. And so these pullbacks, this one I'm not interested in anymore. These pullbacks are going to be entry opportunities.
Right. Yeah. I do believe that.
Yeah, and it's I still like doing just what I did, is those small buys to the upside. It's just a matter of not being in the one candle that's going to push through and start heading to, once momentum comes in, it's just going to start falling.
Right. And I believe that from the way things are looking, probably finding a position off the lower time frames to get in, and then just do a rundown for a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking here.
so that last retest, it was support, came back, retested it there. You could have pulled that stop loss above the last high that was created off that failed retest, and then taking that to the downside, which would have been at 61.8 would have been two. Yeah, would have hit take profit right at that negative 27. And 61.8 being hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's off the 15-minute.
Yeah, I was just looking at the 15-minute right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the next. We got another candle coming in 3 seconds.
Yeah, I still like the divergence. It's just counter trend, so they're not going to play out to the upside. You probably have to look for a lower time frame. Yeah, lower time frame 50 is now the target for both sides. For if you're going to take it to the upside, that'll be the target, and then also the entry to the downside.
Yeah, because it went down to make that wick, and then now it's headed up.
Yeah.
When you look at like the that 5-minute, I thought it was gonna like go down from there. So I'm glad I didn't do anything just yet.
Yeah, that 15-minute divergence still looks good. So you're saying it'll probably push up. Yeah, so you're just looking at, okay, where will it push up to? Where's the retest at?
Right. And then with it sitting right on that trend line too, is I would like to see it. I would like to see it break through that.
Yeah.
Because we still got a ways for that. Like the 1 hour is shark fin, but the 2, 3, and 4 are not there yet. So that gives hope. I'm just waiting for it to go up just a little bit to position it to come back down, because you did have a nice 1-minute shark fin.
Yeah, that's what I am waiting for, is just this retest that's happening. This is liquidity, and which really hasn't had the volume to push anywhere. And so we're either going to break and use that as support, or we're going to reject and use it as resistance.
Yeah.
But the 15-minute divergence says that this could be the move. If this wasn't it, this could potentially be it. Especially as it's getting that TDI lower and lower and lower without price moving too far out of the direction.
Yeah, I saw the post yesterday where you put the training out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a great opportunity for people to really get some solid foundation there and transferable skills over to futures. But I think that was great.
Yeah, it's I don't believe God brung us into this industry to hoard information. And so if you look at just his model of when his ministry launched, he freely gave it was something that he freely gave to individuals. And if you want to walk in his spirit, I would think that we would want to mimic that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, we could have turned it into a business model, put it behind closed gates, and charge for entry.
Mm-hmm.
That's low hanging fruit. But when we say that we're kingdom,
Yeah.
we have to do it the way that he did it, and that's the way that he did it. Is that he knew that he had something, possessed something that was liberating, that would set individuals free, and he freely gave it away. And you know, and that's the way I look at that training. I think that's the way we all look at that training. Is like, no, this is, and I don't think that that individuals recognize how liberating that is. Yet, it's still under. I think it's still under closed. What it's in the shadows right now.
Yeah.
Of what it means, and I think that's for a reason. I think it's just time. It's not time for it yet. But when individuals start to recognize, and the testimonies begin to come out about how individuals are able to change their lives, how Michelle's able to make $500, $1,000 in a few minutes. Once that gets out, it's going to be liberating for a lot of families. That's the piece that we're really looking for. That's the payout, is to see other families be liberated in that manner.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. As we're watching this take off.
Yeah, it was just that divergence. Now the piece is, I'm waiting on this retest. I don't think it's a bottom, but it is going to retest. And if it breaks through there, then we'll use that as support. Then that'll be the new entry in. Especially if this 15-minute closes out with an engulfing candle. So I'm just looking at it as I thought about getting in on it, but I was like, no, let me wait for the retest here.
Yeah, I want to stay with the trend. You know, I mean, it was a good move. You could have scalped that on the 1 minute, but I just want to stay with the trend today. I don't want to be, you know, off and looking at something and then there goes my money out the door. Just stay with the trend. It'll come back. It'll do what we, you know, see it's doing. It'll come back, retest that, and then come on back down.
Yeah. So now I'm starting to look at this as potential entries to the downside. As it begins to climb up. And this is really the last high here. So if it breaks that, then we're not interested anymore. So you don't have to wait for it to come all the way up. Sort of like what Nikai did last night. Let me just show this piece on this entry on Nikai. Oops. Take all this off. So we were waiting for the retest here. Sort of if it pushed up past this liquidity, it's just really this retest here. If it pushed up past this retest, we probably wouldn't be interested in the trade anymore. Started thinking about that. If it pushed up past that, it can use that as support and climb higher. Right. And that's the way I'm looking at gold right now. If we start to push up past this, then we really don't want to be involved at that point, because now it can use it as support.
Right.
So we got a minute left on this 5 minute. I think on the 15 minute, we got 6 minutes left. So we'll stay with the 5 minute. Let's go to the 10 minute.
Yeah, let's see what this does.
So Michelle made another 510 on Bitcoin. Mia says she's made money on the NAS sale. Yeah, it is a red day today. Let's look at that. Yeah, it is a red day today. Yeah, that NAS sale was nice. that retouch of the top where it couldn't, which was this, retested and then sold off. That was really nice. And even if you were just trading top of range down to the bottom of the range,
right,
that would have been a good sell. So really good setups going right here. Okay, we're getting this 5 and 10 minutes to close now.
Let's go back and look at that on gold.
So yeah, the test, we really don't want it to engulf that one, because if it does, then we'll start looking at it a little differently.
Right. Right. And I think it still has that, you know, on the 5 minute, that VWAP is right at that 800.
Yeah.
But the TDI is right in the middle, you know, that top band. So it's just hard to.
I'm gonna take this sell here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how it does.
Yep.
What's the next 30 minute?
I'm gonna risk 1,000 on this sale.
Mm-hmm.
A very tight stop loss. Probably should be pulling up a little bit higher above this, but I'm gonna see how this one does. Because we're retesting right now. If we push through, we'll come up higher. So it's cheaper. It's cheaper than what we've been getting on if this is a failed attempt. Mm-hmm. If I believe the sales or not. So I have a little bit of cushion built in. Yeah, it's not. So a cheap way to see if that was the sale. If it was, I would have been in 50 contracts to the downside. So I'll take that cheap sale there. But now I'm not really interested in it once it climbs above that.
Yeah, I think it's going to go up to that. And then we're right at 812. So I look at this as going up to that 800 VWAP on the 5 minute. And then going back down, because if you look at the TDI on the 15 minute, we're still in that lower half, and the TDI has not moved on the 15 minute. So even though you got this huge candle, it really hasn't done a lot there. And I think on the 5 minute, we're going to stretch and then come back down. That's my thought.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And this is the test I'm waiting on. I want to take an early entry on there. So on that 15-minute divergence that's here, price pushed lower, we stayed higher. The target should be on the 15-minute. It should be to that 15-minute 50, which is right where session anchor VWAP is right now. So we should push up there. If we do push up there, the reason why I'm not interested in the sell-off from there, because we now could use that as support to continue to the upside. And so really what I'm looking at is to test, to do the test now, which is kind of I think I got in a little early, because we're retesting right here, right now, which is old support. It was the last high. We retested this for the last high. This was the right shoulder. We came down. Price just pushed back to that where we're retesting that. And so we should close beneath there. My stop loss I think is in the wrong position, where I just wanted to get it cheaper. I really didn't want to see this broken. But it's not closing above it. And until it closes above it, I am a bear. Once it closes above, then I'll turn into a bull for the upside. So this retest to me is kind of important right now.
Yeah, I can see that one.
Where I entered, it just spiked through there. And this is not in confluence with the 15-minute. This is a little different than what the 15-minute, but I still believe in this trade, so I'm going to take it.
Okay.
I think I just got in at the wrong spot.
At the wrong spot. Yeah.
So let's see if this is going to do it. I'm going to put my stop up here now, which is, now that I look back at it, this is where my stop should be. If you look at this, where this neckline is, where we got resistance here, it was support here, it was resistance, and we came up and tapped. That's really where the stop should be.
Okay. Yeah, I think because we're like so close to open, I think I'm gonna wait to see what open looks like before I think anything, because I notice like some days when it's like this and I'm kind of indecisive, then it's better for me to wait till like 9:30. And then we've got news at 9, I think it is. Yeah, we've got that Richmond news at 9. So I think I'm going to end up.
Yeah, that's orange folder at 9.
Yeah.
Which should strengthen the dollar. I mean, if you look at where it's going to be contingent here. And this is really the difference, is if we just think that we're going to come up, tap the trend line, or are we going to break through it? Because liquidity is sitting up here at 105. 105 has been key for a while, looking left. And so will we hit 105 or not on DXY is really going to be the contingency on gold. All right, so now we're coming up to the retest of this resistance level now, and it looks very bullish. I will be honest, it looks very bullish at the moment. I don't have too much risk on. Looking at the downside of this to see if, and we're looking at resistance right now. Will this hold as resistance? So stop loss is pulled just above that. And you're right, that volume is starting to come back into the market now, and so price can go either way. But let's just see how we open up here. If we're going to spike to a new level and start heading up, then we start looking at a bias. Bullish bias, or will we fall from here? And right now there's no exhaustion, so definitely we're lending to the upside of this coin. Mia says, I'm done for the day on that NAS trade. Yeah, this one just is looking more and more bullish. It's just hanging out at the top, ready to push to VWAP. right where that session anchor VWAP is. And that 1 hour candle is looking very engulfing at the moment. Doesn't want to retrace. We are 11 minutes away from the open. $30-minute is looking divergent, which isn't a good sign. We could probably see price around 23.76. Off, if you're just looking at this shark fin divergence, price is higher, it pushed lower. Totally opposite on the TDI, price is lower, it pushed higher. That usually plays out to the 50, which is sitting right at this trend line here. That's where price is looking like it wants to go. 15-minute was divergent as well, and price is pushing up to the high side. So definitely in the wrong position here. We got to see if this retest is going to hold up on the lower time frame, and then push back down to a level of structure before continuing to the upsides. And that's all going to be contingent on how the DXY is going to move. So we may just push and create high for the day for the New York session and then push to the downside. Either or, patience is probably a better play for today.
Right. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling right about now. Because this is
And let me just scan through really quick to see if any of these levels are holding. And S&P is falling out. NQ is still falling out based off of that retest. US 30 is still bleeding off, slowly bleeding off. You just look at the levels where it's not had a true move. We haven't had the volume come in. Where we got this these long candles. We're just pushing it down for a little bit and retesting the last level. So
right.
There's a lot of that going on right now. For retest. This is a retest. That's a retest. You know, we're just slowly bleeding off structurally. So it's to the downside. Yeah, even Nikkei didn't find support off of its shark fin. It's bleeding off as well. Continue to bleed off. So hopefully gold gets the memo that the rest of the market wants to bleed off and it won't act different.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah,
we will see.
Definitely witnessing that, but it definitely looks bullish at the moment. This retest that's happening right now could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's just a lack of volume.
Right. I didn't even check that this morning just to see kind of where we are time wise. The dogs decided to sleep in this morning. And then they come running out like gangbusters, like, okay, now get up and take care of me. I'm like, no, not yet. Not yet.
Doesn't work like that.
Have to wait a minute. So let's see what this does here.
Yeah, it looks bullish. I mean, this is a bullish flag pattern.
Yeah.
If you look at this, if you look at the 3 minute, it gave us that tweezer bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really see it because of my chart. There you go. So it gave us these tweezer bottoms right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a retest of old structure. So it retested this structure, gave us tweezer bottoms right on that retest. And that's that looked very bullish.
Yeah, and I did do what I said I wasn't going to do, go against trend, and well, we're in a bullish trend, so I did take a small position on gold to hit that VWAP.
Yeah.
Because I just, once it passed that level at 2367, once it passed that, I'm like, okay, it's gonna go up. I just felt like it was gonna go up. So I'm gonna leave it right there and see. How many? I only did 15. So that's like my take profit would be 600 for that. It was a $480 risk.
Okay.
So we'll see what we get there.
Yeah, and so that those two trades on gold cost me 2,500. So that's another 2,500. Kind of. So 2,500. I mean, I'm not adding them all together.
Right.
It's sort of erases what the night did on those, which I'm fine with. But I'm gonna be flat in that account. I'm not trading that account. I'm gonna switch over to my rhythmic accounts because one, I haven't traded that, but those are all on NinjaTrader, and so I would have to. I probably should switch my screen just so you can see what my NinjaTrader is doing. And we're gonna wait till open. But once
we've got 4 minutes.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about is like on those retests. So this was like, okay, we're coming up here as resistance. This is an engulfing candle on the 15-minute. If you even look at the hour, what the hour did, if you look at that candle on the hour, that's an engulfing candle. So that's one. It's a shark fin, hour shark fin. That's two. You go down to the 30-minute. That's a shark fin divergence. That's 3. 15-minute has the divergence at that level. So there's a lot of confluence. If you're just being a confluence trader, there's a lot of confluence for this buy. And you look at the first target. That first target is going to be that session anchor VWAP, which is right around that test. You turn on the MAs. You got a lot of MAs sitting at where price broke out at up to that point. So we'll see the run. Still have a bearish bias, but this is the lesson that we learned yesterday. Even with the bearish bias, it still matters where the sale takes place.
Yeah.
And so it can push. Like yesterday, we had a buy bias in NAS. That took place, but price just squeezed a little bit lower and liquidated a lot of stops and then pushed to the high side.
Yeah, and that's the careful thing before, market. I think it's like gonna, how you get that shoot in one direction or the other, wipe people out, and then go back in the direction you thought it was gonna go. So that area right at 2369, 2370. That is kind of will be a tell if we pass that level.
Yeah, and it's within. So we're thinking sales. We don't believe that. We started off at we were down close to 1% negative on the day. By the end of the day, it's a good possibility that we'll see that negative 1% hit again.
Right.
But New York wants to retrace and fill a lot of those orders from the sell-off. And so we'll push up And then it's just a matter of timing the entry to the downside. And on this account, I still have a little room. If it pushes up and shows exhaustion, I'll take it. But for them now, I have to wait because this account is spent. I have to wait to use it to where it makes sense now.
Right. And this is really teetering at that 30 second 800. So I'm getting out because I don't even think this is going. I think it's, yep, there it goes. Close. Yep, exactly.
Oh, where's my bell? The market can't open without my bell.
Get the bell, Tim. Get the bell. There we go.
We are open. All right. Market is open. We are open for business in New York. New York Exchange is open. Chicago Mercantile Exchange is open. Traders are trading. So let's see where we get the momentum. We're just going to cycle through here.
Yeah.
Let me jump off this 30-second chart and start cycling through. All right, we're starting to get the push up, creating these bottoms here. Initially. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting play. And I'll explain why in a second. This is going to match what gold is doing. They're just coming in at a different spot. So gold is already up here at the session anchor VWAP and for the rejection. All right, so DXY is going to retrace for a little bit. We should expect DXY to come back into this level and then head up to the upside. So this interim bell, we're going to have some bullish movement going up, but we're still in that buy mindset. All right, here's the first retest on NQ. Look at that. Just believe the sellers on US 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And here we are coming up to session anchor VWAP. Should be hitting it here pretty soon. I want to get into these sales on gold right now, but just waiting on it.
Yeah, I think once it hits VWAP, then we might be in a better place. But it's definitely going to where I have my stuff.
So this it's having trouble at clearing the last high.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just gonna see if really want this hour shark fin to work itself out. It's moving really slow, but the only good thing about this is that it is divergent. You get that divergence. We should get the rejection at least off the 50 on the TDI.
You can see on that 30-minute, you're right at the 200 and the VWAP. On that 30-minute.
Yeah. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. I'm going to on this is on another account. It's not going to show up here, but I'm going to take a small position here on and I think this is a micro chart.
Yeah, so I think it's about ready now to head down.
All right, so I just entered a sell position, which did not. My copy trader is not working.
No.
No. Let me see. I may have to take it out of all of these individually. All right, there's the retest of old structure here. So we'll see if that how that retest is going to hold up.
Yeah. See where that.
And chat, where are you at? What trades are you looking at? What trades are you in now that the market is open? Sherry, have a good day.
Wait, Bella.
Yeah. DXY is pushing up. So we're in these sales. I'm just having trouble with my copy trader right now, so I'm just working on that to the left.
Okay. Yeah, it still seems to be a little fickle right now.
Yeah, US 30 fell out the map and did his thing. And Q is having trouble on that retest right there. And and we are heading up to the trend. Could that break and we head to 105? That's really the question. Until that happens, we should be selling off.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why. It's my copy trader had the June contract.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's why. And that will do it. All right, so now they all should copy.
We've got another minute on this 5-minute candle on gold. Kind of see what it's.
Yeah, and we get the news at 9.
Yeah, at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so we may try to consolidate until then within this range.
Yep. Which might be the case. So I might have to watch from afar My
Yeah.
day is getting ready to start on the other side of things.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
So,
carry us to that 9 o'clock hour to see what we do. And I'll probably switch the accounts here just so I can show everybody what I'm taking.
sounds good. Sounds
All right.
good. Tim, have an excellent day.
Yeah, you too. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been. We see what we can do throughout the day today.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
Thank you. Everybody have a blessed day.
All right. So what do we got going in the chat? We're going to go to this 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to look at sales here off of the what did I just do? Hold on. Bear with me. I'm not going anywhere. Back up. Yep, go back up. All right, those sales are playing out off of that session anchor VWAP. So let's look at getting short here. Stop loss is going to be above VWAP. But let's look at getting short here. Let's see what it does. I'm also going to take this in my copy trader. What is Sim 1? Sell market. All right, so we're also there in the Sim. See how far we sell off here, because DXY wants to push up. So gold, you should be pushing down. Risk is off of gold. We should be pushing down on this. All right, go down the trend line, see what it does from there. And it would be great if it just bleeds off from here. Like, let's go. Don't even test it anymore. Yeah, I'm not gonna play around with it. Let me go ahead and let me be responsible here. Let me modify the order. So we're going to risk a couple thousand on this trade. Really don't like the rejection there, but expecting it to come down and retest these levels. My take profit is right down there. So we'll hang out here for a little bit, see how this plays out. Starting to get the initial push. But we do like that rejection. There we go. And we're gonna 15 minutes lining up. So we're probably going to trade this 5 minutes. Going to be the indication of how we handle this trade. The move hasn't happened yet. So we're starting to bleed off, but the move hasn't really happened. Like, we want this to bleed. Let's see, we got a minute left. We got this engulfing that's coming just to retest this area that we got a lot of rejections off of. Let's move to break even at this point. All right, 76 contracts is risk free right now. My target for this, for gold, it should be just to bleed off, create the new low. So my target's way down here. And let's see what this next candle does when it does. It wants to hang out. It doesn't want to create new lows, which would be kind of telling for us. But just imagine, just think, if this becomes a -1, sort of like what platinum's doing, a -1.81, and we get that kind of bleed off. Just imagine if that we started the day off with this around 0.83. So just imagine if it gets back to 0.83. That's kind of what we're looking at. That's kind of what we're seeing with US 30 and NAS. It's right around that -1% sell off. And so that's what we want to see. $1,000 could be nice right now. We could close this out right now. But this could be 2,000. So it's risk-free. Let's let it run. We know we can make 1,000 at any time. So we're not too anxious to take profits off the table. Let's just see where it pushes to. And I'm also watching the screen to my left to see what that one's doing. All right, we're $1,300 up here, and I think we are going to sell off, but yeah, it wants to come retest first and play around. So hands are off the keyboard. I am looking at gold as well. Did well yesterday on my tank of gas, $80. Yeah, hey, that counts. Trade to live. Trade to live. You know, I like that. Set those targets to where, yeah, we're gonna come back and hit break even. Set those targets to live. You know, this is gas money right here. This is a phone bill. I'm gonna trade for my phone bill. You know, set those targets there, have those initiatives set, and then that will grow over time. Yeah, I don't like this. We're starting to get that push up. It's a retest of this structure. Let me pull this up just a little bit because we're going to retest here. So let me pull it up just a tidbit. And for some reason, it's not letting me. That's why I have two screens here to control this. So let me see what's going on over here. We can't see what's going on over there. What's going on over here? Why aren't you wanting to close? Well, that's fine. That's fine. We'll leave you alone. What is this? Oh. Yeah, it's not letting me move this stop at all for some reason. So it's going to close me out of the trade at break even, which we really don't like. So we'll probably end up re-entering this one. Really don't like that. It didn't let me get back into that. So let's re-enter into this. Let's do it like this. All right, we're coming up to the hour. I am going to re-enter this one more time. I really like this sell off. Oh, we're getting closer to news, aren't we? Yes, we are. That's at 0.22. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what news does here. We got about 10 minutes left of it before we end the call. We'll see what news does here. And if news does, but this liquidity level could produce a high. So that's why we're being cautious with this right now. Just being cautious. It's been a good trading week. We had some ups and downs, but overall, good trading week. Psychology is in place, mental's in place, accounts are in place. So we really can't say too much about that. We're letting this one press a little higher. And we get news in about 10 minutes. All right, so this is what we're looking for. We're looking for a retest of the double top. Here, if we climb on top of that, we can use that as support to climb higher. The next entry would be off of the trend line. All right, which is really what that 15-minute divergence or 30-minute divergence that you're seeing has the potential to push up to that 50 up there. All right, so that's a good place to be as well. And then switch up a little bit. I'm gonna get back in this. Is that 15? Market. All right, there you go. We are. This is kind of where the original position was. It was a little bit higher, and we were a little bit heftier, but reduced risk at this point. With stops just above. All right, so that's going to be the trade that we're going after. This is the retest area that we're anticipating. And we'll risk what we have here. And we may get a cheap risk piece here. But I am looking at news that's going to happen in 6 minutes to see whether that's going to happen or not. And that's really this is going to really be the last trade of the day off of this liquidity zone to the downside. I really would like to be in a little heavier, expecting the sales, expecting this to climb to around 1%. drop in gold, similar to what we're seeing in indices. We'd like to see that 1% drop. Now, NQ did do a 1% drop down here and then created the high. All right, so that could be a possibility as well, where we do the 1% and then create the high. Same thing with US 30. It did its 1% drop down to structure, could go to create the high here. So right now we're at 0.53%. Right now we're looking at that to potentially do the 1%. And it doesn't look like that. This is really an inverted head and shoulder pattern. Now that I'm looking at it. I got some dual screens going on over here. I got trades over here, got trades over here. All right, 5 minutes till the news hits. We need that news to be positive right away. And 5 minutes is like an eternity right now. All right, so everyone sees this trade. See what we got going on this trade. It's like, we'll see. We'll see. All right, we're reaching the end of the hour. We'll watch and see if this holds up. I'll probably post it on, I'll do that. I'll post the trade result on our IG page. If everyone that's on the call, if you haven't followed the IG pages, Advanced Kingdom TV, do that. If you haven't subscribed to YouTube, make sure you do that. I'll post the trade. I'll do a reel on YouTube to post the trade result of how we ended up. And then I'll do the same on IG to show how we ended up. All right, so we're approaching the hour. We're not going to extend it past 9. So if you want to see the result of how this trade ends up, is anyone in this trade? First of all, let me know. But if you want to see the result of how this trade ends up, go to Advanced Kingdom TV, our IG page, and we'll post the final result. This is the last trade of the day. Out of the account, we took a couple wins and then we took a couple losses out of this account. So, but we have the same trade going on the rhythmic side of things as well. So this is going to be an important trade. Is this candle going to get engulfed? Is this 5-minute candle going to be engulfed or not? Find out on IG, Advanced Kingdom TV. All right, I think we're going to end it for today. Leave some comments. It really helps us. Hit the like and subscribe button. That really helps us. And yeah, we'll end it for the day. We get news here in 2 minutes. I probably should have stick around for 2 minutes just to see. Let's do it. Let's just stick around for 2 minutes. It is Advanced Kingdom TV. At Advanced Kingdom TV. We post a lot of content on the IG. I'm going to type this in the comments. Yeah, go follow the IG channel. Get all that content that's there. And let's count down this 1 minute. Come on, 1 minute. Price is going up too fast. We need positive U.S. news to send gold down. We need risk on the dollar and send this gold trade down. "54 seconds left. Appreciate you, Judy. Thanks for hanging out. 38 seconds left till news. This is going to skyrocket one way or another. So we might as well wait for it. It is orange folder news, but indice or DXY is starting that retracement. So has it retraced enough? Will it go positive for the dollar? That's what we got to see here. We're at 0.43 right now on gold, and we're looking for 0.8 something for gold. And positive news for the dollar will do that for us. Right now, investors are getting that news. And it came out positive for the dollar. Would you look at that? Positive for the dollar. It's orange folder news, though. So we're getting a slow reaction to orange folder news. Oh, my. This is... If DXY wants to fall, it's positive for you. Go up. All right. So this trade's in jeopardy. We'll see if this level holds. We'll post the results here. It may just turn out I'll post a $10,000 day, or I could post a $2,500 loss. So we'll see. It's at the 9 o'clock hour. We'll go ahead and end the call. Thanks for joining us today. To God be the glory. We pray that God be glorified in everything that we do, and that he'll cause our hands to prosper. Everyone have a good day. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you in the morning.